What's going on, guys? I'm BloodyAbsol, and welcome back to another playthrough challenge video. You guys have been loving the mod type content, so let's do another one. This time, I'm trying to beat Pokemon Silver with only a team of Steel type Pokemon. Gen 2 is when the Steel type was actually introduced, but it still wasn't very common. Steel types are also very defensive, but often lack in speed. But with only 5 points of data in this generation, it's not that prominent. Regarding moves, there were only 3 Steel type attacks in Pokemon Silver, and some of the Pokemon we'll be using in this challenge wouldn't even have stab Steel moves. Now it's time for the rules. Only Steel types can be used in battle. Only one of each Pokemon can be used. No items in battle. No reviving during the Elite Four. And lastly, no glitches. With that done, let's get started. First things first, I changed the starter Chikorita to a Magnemite so our rival will carry a fire type for the rest of the game. I named the Magnemite Polar and we get on our way. At level 5, Polar already has Tackle and Thundershock, so we're sitting pretty. As we pass Cherry Grove City, we can make our way to Mr. Pokemon's house. Professor Elmland calls us, whining that he got robbed. Dude, just saying. Just don't get robbed! We make our way back, and on our way, we run into this guy, and we send a couple million volts through his rat, and we move on. When we get back to the lab, we tell the honest to goodness truth about our rival's name, and we officially start our journey. The first thing to know is that we have to catch a Bellsprout on Route 31, and trade it for Rocky the Onyx in Violet City. But, obviously we can't use it in battle yet since it's not a Steel type. I then decided to climb Bellsprout Tower to gain a few levels before finding the gym. And I doubt we needed it. Against Faulkner, we one-shot his Pidgey with a Thundershock right out of the gate. His Pidgeot comes out and hits Polar with a Mud Slap, but it too goes down to another Thundershock. Now we have the badge, we get an egg, throw it at a computer, and get moving. There isn't much of anything for the next few routes other than some travel, so we can skip to Azalea Town. After watching Kirk break his neck by falling down a well, I fight all the grunts and somehow get him back to his house. Seriously, there isn't a single hospital in this region, so I know for a fact it wasn't an ambulance. We enter the next gym, still playing through turns with Polar, and we start the second gym fight. Who am I kidding? Calling it a fight is giving it too much credit. Bugsy has a Metapod and a Kakuna, both of which only have Tackle and Harden, so they fall without any trouble. Scyther's the only Pokemon that can do anything, but it can only get off a Quick Attack before getting hit by a Thundershock, getting paralyzed, and going down the next turn. Now we have to fight our respectively named rival. After getting put to sleep turn 1, Polar gets licked by Gastly until it wakes up and kills it for the second time. His Guava is next and it can get off an Ember, but it wasn't anything bad. Last is his Zubat, and one Thundershock takes it out pretty easily. In Ilex Forest, we need to pull a Wily Coyote and mindlessly chase after a bird until this guy gets us cut. Deeper into the forest, this guy gives us a step-by-step guide on how to bash our heads into trees, and we put those newfound skills to good use until we find a Pineco. After finishing the forest, we get to Goldenrod and shoot right past it to enter the bug catching contest. Since the Pokemon we need here rarely shows up, this may take a while to... Okay, I know it's not difficult to make me look stupid, but you can let a few of them slide, you know. Well, we catch the Scyther and retire immediately. We may have just captured 2 more Pokemon, but neither is a Steel type yet, so Magnemite is still flying solo against Whitney. Thundershock does a little less than half against Clefairy, and it decides to go for broke with Metronome. It rolls an Ancient Power, but even with the crit, it doesn't do much. Another Thundershock takes Clefairy down to red, and it gets a Berry up with another Metronome. One turn later, Clefairy faints, and out comes the Demon Spawn Miltank. Even though it can't touch Polar, I didn't want to take any risks with Rollout, so I got off a Thunder Wave and a Supersonic. Polar can then start chipping away with Sonic Boom and Thundershock until we beat the cow so badly that she actually has a reason to cry this time. While we're still in town, we have to grab a bike and this watering can to attack this poor tree. I mean, I'm just saying, we were ramming our heads into this earlier. Why can't we just do that again? Past the Sudowoodo is at Critique City, and after we get there, we head to the Burn Tower to fight our rival. We took down his team with just Magnemite still, but we only got by the skin of our teeth. 10 miles away, and probably wallowing in self-pity right now, we can try our hand at the gym. However, things don't go very well thanks to Curse and Nightshade, so we need some upgrades. Since Magnemite was already close to its evolution level, we grind against the trainers to the west until it reaches level 30 and evolves into Magneton. Also, since we just got one of our Pokemon level 30, getting one more to level 31 couldn't hurt anything. On that same route, we level up Pine the Pineco, real creative name I know, into a Steel-type Fortress, which makes it useful in this challenge. Now with the second Pokemon and a bit of a stat buff, we can fight Morty once more. I let things off with Pine and start building up a rollout which takes out both Gastly and one of the Haunter. When Gengar comes out, it uses Hypnosis and starts sapping away Pine's health with Dream Eater. When he wakes up, Pine can get off 2 more hits of rollout before getting put to sleep again and gets knocked down to 6 HP. Pine can wake up first turn though and knock out Gengar with another rollout. Morty has one last Haunter and it outspeeds to take down Pine. I send out Polar who gets hit with Nightshade, but takes out Haunter with a Thundershock, and we get another badge. Now we have to do something a little weird. Once we battle the Komodo girls and get Surf, we make our way to Mahogany Town and trigger the events there by killing the Red Gyarados. Lance then kills the guy and we start storming the Team Rocket hideout. I don't plan to do the entire hideout right now, I'm here for one thing and one thing only, that being TM46, Thief. Thief is the most efficient way to get a special item that we need. With the Universal Randomizer, I made it possible to evolve Scyther and Onix without needing to trade, but we do need to use Thief on a few Wild Magnemite to find a Metal Coat. By letting Rocky and Zoro hold these while they reach level 30, they can evolve into Steelix and into Scizor. With that, we have 4 Pokemon, so we can head to Allvine City. We grab Strength over here, and we begin to climb the lighthouse, and wonder why they have to use a Pokemon in the first place. Seriously, they make actual lights for this. A quick trip across the sea, and we reach Cianwood City to grab the medicine and fight the gym while we're here. Zoro's able to use Wing Attack, which gives us the ability to one-shot Primeape and Poliwrath. Since there isn't anything else to do, we cross the ocean one more time, heal the dying sheep, and go over to fight Jasmine. I use Pine against her first Magnemite, who can get it down to yellow with a couple of Rock Smashes, but thanks to Thunder Wave, Pine gets fully paralyzed several turns in a row and gets taken out by some Thunderbolts. Side note, the Magnemite line can't learn Thunderbolt in Gen 2 unless it's transferred from Gen 1. I was more than annoyed when I found out about that. Anyway, I sent out Polar who can take it out with a Sonic Boom. Her Steelix comes out next, and we match it with our own. Her Steelix only uses Iron Tail while Rocky chips it down with Dig. We speed up the process with a Screech or two, and her Steelix goes down. I bring Polar back out against her second Magnemite, and I decide to have some fun and chip it down with Thunder Wave and Supersonic, but when the time came, it got taken out by a Sonic Boom. With Jasmine and Chuck done, we can head back to the Rocket Hideout to wrap up the Adamants and take down the Electro to gain access to the 7th gym. After sliding around for a bit, we enter the battle with Price. Polar can one-shot his Seal immediately, and he brings out his Dugong, who also gets one-shot by a crit Thundershock. I send out Pine to go against his Piloswine, and since it can only use moves like Icy Wind and Fury Attack, Rella takes it out in just a couple of turns. Once we leave the gym, Professor M tells us that the radio isn't working. Like any sane person would do, we go to the radio tower to complain about this crummy service! I shouldn't have to— Oh, it's a hostile takeover. Well? Once we fight our way to the top and find some doing a carpeted skies, we have to make our way down to the underground of Goldenrod City. Once we get down there, we get another challenge from our respectfully named rival. But to be perfectly honest, his Pokemon are all still a lot weaker than ours, so he more or less gets decimated. After a while trying to figure out the underground puzzle, we can finally break into the basement and get the special key from the Rail Director. We go to battle the Rocket executives, and there isn't much to talk about with them. Most of them use poison types and other Pokemon weak to steel, so there isn't much to cover. After Team Rocket's plans are thwarted, we can push onto the Ice Cave. After some slipping around, we can pick up Waterfall, and we get to Blackthorn. I begin to fight the trainers in the gym before remembering we can get our last team member here. But oh god, was it annoying. The Pokemon I'm looking for has a fairly low encounter rate, but the issue isn't encountering it because I found a Skarmory fairly quickly. The issue is, it's staying in the Pokeball. The first one I found refused to stay in any ball I threw at it, and then I accidentally ran away when I had 2 balls left. Before going to get another one, I tried buying 30 Ultra Balls. Obviously, those aren't Ultra Balls. But I didn't know that until I found another Skarmory and threw the last 2 balls I had left. So I had to go back to actually buy 30 Ultra Balls this time and finally catch a Skarmory. That took way too long. With our final team, it's time to fight the final gym in Johto. Polar leads off against Clear's Dragonair, and we both start with Thunder Wave. Polar gets paralyzed while Dragonair lands a Surf. The next turn, Polar gets hit by another Surf, but gets off a Supersonic. This lets Polar chip down Dragonair until it's defeated. Clear's second Dragonair comes out, and I try the same strategy, but Polar can only get it down to about half health before fainting. I bring in Rocky who can take down Dragonair with a few digs, but he gets paralyzed by Dragon Breath in the process. Rocky then gets replaced by Painful Skarmory when Claire brings out Kingdra. This thing hits like a truck and loves using Smokescreen, so I have Painful use Sand Attack until it faints. After that, Zoro can come out and use Slash after Slash until Kingdra faints without landing a single move. With one last Dragonair left, it falls to a critical hit Metal Claw, and we get the final... Hey, give me the badge! Well, since Little Miss Wouldn't Lance over there has to be a sore loser, we had to go grab a Dragon Fang from the Dragon's Den to actually get the badge. Man, the nerve of some people! Now with the 8 Johto gym badges, we begin our trek to the Kanto region. After fighting trainer after trainer on the way, we eventually make it to Victory Road. Since Victory Road is a barren wasteland in Johto, we get to the end really quickly to fight our rival with the amazing name one more time. Against this Sneasel, Zoro can begin building up a Fury Cutter and take it out. He then brings out his Typhlosion, who unexpectedly outspeeds Scizor and almost takes it out with a Flame Wheel. It eats a Fury Cutter, which in hindsight was a dumb move, and takes out Scizor. I then bring out Rocky, who can take out Typhlosion with a Dig and Dragon Breath, taking a Flame Wheel in the process. Next is Polar vs Golbat, and a few Thunder Shocks take it down. I bring in Pine, and when he sends a Magneton, I start spamming Rock Smash. Pine was doing pretty good until Magneton gets off a Thunder Wave. It wastes a few turns, and knocks out Pine a few turns after. Rocky then come out and finish Magneton with Zig. Last is Painful, who can one-shot Kadabra and Haunter. With this defeat, we have access to the Pokemon League. But I'm grabbing Earthquake first. I can't properly take on the League without summoning the Wrath of the Tectonic Plates now, can I? Anyway, since we're here, I tried my hand at the Elite Four. First, a Psychic Trainer Will and his Xatu. I started with Polar, who trades blows with it for a few turns, but it falls to a Thunder Shock after landing a couple Psychics. He uses his Exeggutor next, and I bring out Zoro. Exeggutor can land a Leech Seed, but it gets taken out by a few Fury Cutters. I keep Zoro in against his second Xatu, who hits Zoro with Psychic, takes Fury Cutter, and heals with the Berry. Xatu can then get off a Confused Ray, but Zoro can still get off a Fury Cutter to finish it. Lastly, his Jinx falls to a Fury Cutter after getting off a Psychic, and Slipper gets one shot as well before doing anything. Next is Koga, and it's Pine vs Ariados first. Rowlet starts making its way through Ariados as it tries to set up a Double Team and Sticky Web. It was all for nothing though, and it goes down before it can make use of it. Venomoth is next, and uses Supersonic immediately. Pine is able to break through the confusion only to miss Rollout. I try to set up one more Rollout, but it misses, letting Venomoth get off two more Psychics. Pine then snaps out of confusion and lands a Strength to immediately get confused again. After a few more turns, Pine can get off a Rollout to take out Venomoth. The Rollout keeps going against Koga's Fortress and eventually takes it out. I bring Pine back to Sand and Rocky to deal with Muck. Spikes at my Fortress do a little damage, but nothing big. Muck only sets up Ice in battle, so Rocky can take it down with an Earthquake and a Dragon Breath. His Crobat is last and goes into a Thunder Shock from a Polar after some annoying healing. Third on the list is Bruno. Hitmontop and Painful trade Quick Attack and Peck to start. The second turn, the same moves get exchanged, but Hitmontop goes down. Next is his Hitmonchan, and Zoro takes a Fire Punch to knock it out with Wing Attack. Zoro can then use Wing Attack to take down Hitmonlee and Machamp. Finally, a Metal Claw takes down Onix, making this the easiest Elite Four fight yet. Last is the Dark-type trainer Karen, and the best way to put this was that it was an absolute slaughter of my team. Actually, slaughter is way too tame of a word. Maybe massacre? Whatever. Her Umbreon was no problem, and he easily gets dispatched by Zoro. But her Houndoom can outspeed and one-shot every member of my team with Flamethrower. After that mess, I had to grind without question. But something interesting happened. My luck can either be incredibly good, or incredibly bad. Either way, it's stupid because while grinding I found a shiny Raticate. Making this the first shiny Pokemon I found during a challenge run, and the second shiny Raticate I found while doing some sort of playthrough on my channel. Huh. Funny. Anyway, after getting my whole team up to level 50, but then being at level 41 for the first time I fought the League, I took on Karen again. By this point, Zoro learned Sword Stance, and I tried to set up with it while fighting Umbreon. A little confusion shenanigans later, and Umbreon goes down. Out comes Houndoom, and since Zoro can now outspeed, and with the power buff, Zoro can one-shot Houndoom. I switched to Painful to deal with Vileplume because she has one for some reason, and a Flying Peck take it down. Next is Rocky, and it can one-shot Gengar with Earthquake, and probably can take down Murkrow with a Thunder Shock. With Karen done and over with, we can take on Lance. Now let's just cut to the chase. We struggled getting through the part of the team that he threw at us, but his Charizard can outspeed and one-shot everything just like Houndoom. Or so I thought. On my second attempt at Lance, I led with Zoro and set up with Sword Stance, and I was enough to take down every Pokemon that he had, outspeeding and one-shotting each and every one of them, making us the champion of the Johto region with the only Steel-type Pokemon. But we're not done. Red is the final secret boss of the Johto games, but we had to get through 8 more gyms to do that. 7 of those gyms are complete under pushovers, so I'll just cover Blue since he's like a pseudo-red. And yeah, his Arcanine has Flamethrower, so back to the grind. Where I found another shiny Raticate. Seriously, look at this. If I had a nickel for every time I found a shiny Raticate while grinding in a Gen 2 game on my channel, I'd have 3 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird it's happened 3 times. Anyway, after the grind, I did to Blue exactly what I did to Lance. Set up with Zoro's Sword Stance, and destroy everything since Zoro outspeeds everything at level 64. Coming off that win, I tried Red, and as expected, Charizard decimates whatever we throw at it. I tried again, but this time, my team is at level 70, and Polar and Scizor were at level 75. Here's how that played out. Red's Pikachu only gets off a Quick Attack before getting wrecked by Rocky's Earthquake. Man, it's like Pikachu's bad or something. Next is Espeon, and I send out Zoro. It sets up Reflect while Zoro sets up Sword Stance. He can set up 2 more while Espeon gets off 2 Psychics. With Max Attack, Zoro can one-shot Espeon with a Metal Claw and a Venusaur with Wing Attack. However, I swapped to Polar to fight Charizard. During that grinding, I went to get the TM for Thunder and gave it to Polar since Thunder Shock was too weak. With this, Polar lives the Flamethrower on Red and one-shot Charizard with a Thunder. Red brings in Snorlax and I keep Polar in just to be annoying. I can get off a Thunder Wave and 2 Thunders before Snorlax takes it out. To finish it off, I send in Pine to Star Rollout. It takes a few turns, but it eventually knocks out Snorlax. Red's last Pokemon is Blastoise and sets up a Rain Dance, but one more Rollout almost takes it down. It fires off a Rain Boosted Surf, and Pine lives on 9 HP. One more Rollout finishes Blastoise, and Red was defeated by a team of only Steel-type Pokemon. This was a fun challenge to do, and having Magnemite at the beginning was definitely the right call. Magnemite is the only base stage Steel type Pokemon in this game, so it was the most conventional pick, but its electric typing also made it the most convenient. Having Thundershock made it easy to take down Faulkner's team and Bugsy's Scyther. Not to mention, its electric typing was also the main reason why we could take down Red's Charizard. Though I was able to make a lot of use out of Magneton, I feel like Skarmory was used less than I expected. It was only really used against Claire, Bruno, and Karen, but maybe it's just because Skarmory was caught late game. Either way, it just felt odd to me. Anyway, I guess the big question is, can you beat Pokemon Silver with just Steel-type Pokemon? And the answer is, yes. Yes, you can. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below a challenge you'd like to see me attempt in the future. On that note guys, I'm BloodyAbsol, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.